is my home. These streets raised me. You knock me down, push me out, watch me as
I get a little crazy out there today.
Media outlets from around the world await a verdict in Washington.
Maybe I can bring the sun back up here.
The jury in the Rodney King trial.
A stunning verdict.
The 4 police officers were found not guilty.
But I wonder, what does that do to men that have to continuously swallow that ego, and not even just swallowing your ego, but it's almost like bend the knee a little to people that don't deserve it just in order to stay alive. Do you think that does something to the mental health of black men?
Yes. It's a really good question.
What did I tell my sons about being stopped by police? I shared with them that if they ever get stopped by the police, and if they're in their car, to abide by everything that they say to you, no matter what the tone is. Put your hands so they can see you. Do whatever they say. And even though it might humble and affect your ego, the goal is for you to see tomorrow. And I emphasize that all the time to my 2 sons, my 2 African-American young kings, to cooperate, even if the tone is not in your favor.
I told my sons when interacting with the police to give them the respect that they give to me. If you're asked a question, answer the question with a yes or a no, and look the officer straight in the eye. My father didn't give me any advice upon interacting with the police other than go the other direction if you see them. And depending on what's going on, if you have to run, don't be the slowest one. I don't put my manhood to the side for anybody. I just give respect and look for respect. If none is given from the officer or that I'm interacting with, I just do what I told my sons to do. Yes and no, and be on my way so I can make it home safe.
Why are you making these choices? Because I understand where I am, and I understand after losing so many homies that there's only one outcome if your ego and your pride gets crazy.
Yeah.
And in '92, there was no body cams. There was no cameras on every corner. There was no iPhones that can document what actually happened to you. And even with body cams, we still got George Floyd, Eric Garner, and Trayvon Martin, and you know, Breonna Taylor. Yeah, it's just not easy to be in this black skin every day.
What I tell my son about the police: if you get pulled over, comply. Yes sir, no sir. Move slow, be calm. And I grew up in St. Thomas. I never had to encounter police in this way. I never been afraid of the police. You know what I mean? We've never had an issue of that in the Virgin Islands when it comes to young black men and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody black. I never had to deal with white cops or racism or nothing like that in my life growing up. And as far as my father tell me the police to work for you, and you shouldn't be afraid of them. You should be able to talk to them and have a conversation with them. So that's basically my story coming from the United States Virgin Islands.
You know what scares me? I don't want you to grow up to be like me.
Hi, my name is Mark, and I want to share just a little bit about my experience as a black man interacting with the police in America. You know, raising my children, I have two young adult black children. My oldest son is 30, my second son is 29, and then I have a daughter who's 27 this year. But with all my kids, I've constantly told them through their childhood to make sure that they were being respectful and responsible, and if they were ever, detained by the police, to really focus on being truthful, being honest, and being able to come home safe. Answering all the questions that they were asked, and even if the questions were inappropriate, like where are you coming from and why did you go there? When I think about, what my parents told me about interacting with the police, it was pretty similar. Just, be quiet, be careful, be truthful, be honest, and just work to make sure that you can come home instead of, another outcome. I'm 66 years old, so I grew up in the era of things happening like Rodney King, those situations and the police brutality that being black in America created for my generation. It was pretty challenging. As I think about now being an adult, my experiences with the police, whenever I'm pulled over by the police or the police, come to my home for this or that reason, I have a sense of anxiety. I have a sense of fear. I have a sense even more so as an adult and even at my age as an adult, more so than I had when I was a young man growing up. Because I know what can happen, and I've had a number of traffic stops that just left me wanting to figure out a way to take control of the situation, that have that sense or that feeling of being subjugated to this person who really saw my color and made judgment calls about me and what I might be up to. At 66, I'm disappointed that we're still in that world here in the United States. I'm hopeful that things will change. That's kind of what my experience has been.
You'll get to a place where you realize that loyalty has an expiration date, and staying loyal to what's dead at some point will kill you too.
Give me my son.
And if I don't,
then we got a problem, homie.